Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another review from myself, you and Spence here on Retro Spectrum, Retro Spectrum Gaming. And as you can see from the cassette and the screenshot, we have Panic Dizzy. Now, some of you might have seen me practicing the tongue-twisting issues that I have with the review of this game over the last couple of days. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow on Facebook as well. Right then, Panic Dizzy. Now, Panic Dizzy is not one of the core Dizzy games. It's not the run around, collect one thing to take the key to the other end of the screen to drop it down to get the dragon's head to come all the way back to put it in the nest. So the mother dragon makes and cracks the egg open and you get a baby dragon. You can take it and fly in the sky and it gets a beanstalk stick and everything that comes down. It's not that one. Actually, I think that's just an amalgamation of all 4 or 5 Dizzy games. It's one of the arcade Dizzy games. So it's an arcade game that they've grafted Dizzy onto to try and make it sell more and make it look attractive. And I'm going to be fair, 17-year-old me fell for it. At the same time, 17-year-old me quite liked these sort of one-screen puzzle relaxing games. And as I've come back to Panic Dizzy, it's been quite relaxing at the start, and as it opens up, it gets more frantic as it goes on. So it kind of loses that sort of Zen ASMR playing scene that you get. But for a good 15-20 minutes, it's fun to play. Let's call it up. Let's have a run through and bring over the salient points as well. Right then, Kempston, trusty Kempston PlayStation 4 controller is going through at the top of the high score table from a previous game, and Big Red are 2 and 3. Big Red software coding this one, so the Oliver twins are sort of involved in a sign off because it uses Dizzy. But Big Red at this point, they'd already done like Spellbound Dizzy, and we're getting Crystal Kingdom Dizzy ready to go as well. And you'll also notice on that splash screen, this doesn't really look like Dizzy. Look at him. That's not. No, that's not Dizzy. So straight away, we have a graphical problem. We look at him in the middle of the screen. He mimics your joystick control left and right. That's fair enough. But he's got the color clash, and he's got the little hat on like he does in the opening screen. But it just doesn't look like Dizzy. Cheap tie-in. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, because we're here to review the game. So it is falling blocks game, but the trick with the falling blocks in this case is you need to get them through the shape slider, and if you get one of them down, then you get a single point, and if you get 2 of them down, you get double. Oh, look at that, thank you very much. Random code generator, a triple, and if you're very lucky, which I'm not here, but for the purpose of the review we'll keep playing, you get a quattro, which is all 4 shapes like this. And you get, I've got a little green London bus coming out there because this machine makes toys. So the shapes are the raw ingredient. You just, for some reason, need to get in through the slider in the right space. And that will, make the toys when you get 4 in a row. If you get 3, okay, look, I'm going to be honest here. If I was Dizzy, I would break the slider. I would take it out of there, and then all the blocks could just fall down. I know that kills the gameplay, but this is really not a healthy working environment. If they were smart about this, they could make a much, much better game. You could make a much worse game, but a much better working environment if you took away the slider at the bottom of the factory. But anyway, let's assume that for some demented health and safety reason it has to be there. Maybe there's some noxious gases when the shapes drop it into the block. You'll now, of course, have seen the other bit of the game mechanic that's going on here, which is the vacuum delivery tubes, the shape creators that are dropping the shapes into the sliders, are constantly dropping down and falling to the ground. The only way you can get them to move up is if you get quattro, 4 dropping at once. You press the fire button and it drops. It's not automatic. Or a triple, and that will bring the pipes back up to the top of the gameplay arena. There we go. Now, if you just let them fall down, you know, when you have to, I don't know, reset your headphones, if you just let them reach the bottom, you'll see it flash, the stick will drop. If you want to drop multiple at a time, you press the fire button. And if you let one hit the slider when it's the wrong shape, then there's a crunchy noise. Not a huge number of sound effects. We've got them. Oh, that's not fair. Given actually for the Spectrum, we do have a fair number of noise. We've got the slider moving left and right. We've got the clicks of the blocks going in. We've got the crunchy noise. That's enough noise. Anyway, if you let them, the shapes hit the slider and they're not in the right order, then those pipes at the top are going to fall down further. And of this, long, slow burn puzzle games are made. That's it. As you had 50 shapes per level will rise you up to the next level. And whenever you rise up to the next level, the slider will get different orientation of shapes. So you'll see here that where we started off with 2 shapes, we now have 3 shapes. And we'll get 4 shapes coming up later on in the game with the addition of a star that's coming in. And in total, there are 20 levels to the game, and each one of those levels has a slightly different sorter. You see here now, I've been just dropping in doubles, and the pipes start to fall down. And it gets, of course, as they get closer to the ground, it gets harder for you to get triples and quadruples to have the pipes climb back up again. So you start to go from the just, oh yeah, just move it around a little bit, and then you start to realize that you've actually sort of got to wait, and when you've got multiple choices of shape orientation on the slider like this, you're going to have to play a little bit fast and loose, and you'll see here we've moved on a little bit, so we've got a slightly different orientation of the pieces. I can get 2 crosses here. There's 3, so that gets a slight lift up as well. So you do, as you get through the game, it's a slow burn to get to the point, but you do get to the point where you're going to have to start thinking ahead, doing some planning, making decisions and trying to engineer getting 3 and 4 blocks falling at the same time while not letting shapes like that crash down. And you'll see now that I've got even less room to work with to get 3 pieces. You see, there were 3 pieces there if I'd waited, but not waiting long enough on that one. We get a slight heads up because the color of the pipe tells me roughly what's coming up next, but we are, you know what, I'm just going to let it crash out at this point there. You'll see at the bottom, you can start, literally that's the point where the panic kicks in, and you go through. It's like starting at level 1, finish off at level 4, and a not so bad score in at that point there as well. It's a gentle climb up to the point where it gets panic. Manic, panic, manic, dizzy, panic, dizzy. Panic does have a better hard sound with the P, so it's better in the advertising. But there's a kind of point halfway, when the pipes get to about halfway down, yeah, at that point you're really not going to be able to recover. You're just literally panicking to try and get your last bits of score and maybe hoping for a little bit of luck. So game starts off, you can keep it quite ASMR, but when you get to the point where you panic, it is going to panic. It is going to deliver exactly what it says on the tin of the game. Is it a classic? Not really, no. I think it's very telling that this screen here just says panic. It doesn't say panic dizzy. It does it this one. It's not, there's not much of a link to a Dizzy game, but there again, there wasn't much with fast food or with quick snacks either. Dizzy Down the Rapids, Bubble Dizzy, they just grafted the Dizzy character on here, and it does feel like you've just grafted Dizzy onto this one. But at the same time, it does give a little bit of extra graphic. You've got your character in the middle. It gives you a little bit more personality and association to the game rather than have it as a 100% pure logical puzzler. The graphics, as you can tell, are really clear and sharp on this one. They're clear, The toys at the bottom that you make when you drop 4, they actually move along, so you move along the line, but there's not a lot of animation. My guess is it's literally they just ran out of memory, so they just literally jump step them over. Sound, crunchy, it's good enough. Dizzy, it's not really dizzy, but you know it helped sell more copies of the game, so a bit of a blatant movie tie-in. And you'll see here, you can actually start at any level. So, you know, let's have some fun. Let's just crank it all the way up to the last level and show you the mess. Look how fast those pipes are dropping down now. That's, you know, that's just off the top. There we go. Drop that through there. 1, 2, 3. So we got it. We could have got a 3 if we waited there, but no, we're not going to get that. There's a 2. There's a 2. So you can start and go straight to the panic if you feel the need. There's a triple. Let me get the pipes go up a little bit. There we go. There's 2. This is the actual panic, folks. Oh, it was there. It was there, but it's not going to drop through. And we're right down at the bottom. And ASMR Dizzy might be level 1, but Panic Dizzy level 20. Boom! There you go. It is all there. What was the score there? 50. Quite low, actually, quite low. But you get a bonus of starting quite high as well. That is Panic Dizzy. It's definitely worth the look, both if you're looking for a sort of gentle run into the game, but also if you're just looking for that little bit of action and punch at the end of the game. It's light, it's gentle, it's brutal, it's manic, it's panic, it's a whole bundle of things maxed out. It's one of those games where, you know, if I was an editor, you're like, that's a 79 out of 100 game if ever I saw. But it's clearly not mega game status. It's not in that really recommended one. But it released at $2.99. That's a 79% game, which nowadays on Retro Spectrum translates as recommended.